Hey, so I'm hitting the beach in a few weeks, so I've really been trying to cut down on carbs and sugar and unhealthy food in general. Not gonna lie, it's a bit of a struggle. I like eating, and I like eating junk. Luckily, I can still treat myself to one of my faves without feeling guilty about it. That's right, Magic Spoon is still on the menu. 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, 140 calories, and only 4 net grams per serving. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb. And of course, they have a bunch of delicious flavors that you can build your own custom bundle with. Cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, cinnamon, cookies and cream, and maple waffle. Me, I get 3 boxes of cocoa and 3 boxes of frosted. And sometimes I'll throw in a peanut butter, and I mix them all together. It's delicious. And listen to this. Magic Spoon is excited to announce the launch of their limited edition cereal bars. They're similar in nutritional value to a protein bar, just 100 times more fun and enjoyable. Every bar has 10 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and only 4 net grams of carbs. You can get them in cookies and cream and cocoa and peanut butter. Now, they sent me a box of each flavor, but my kid and his friends got home from basketball, they got a hold of them, and they were gone in 10 seconds. So I never got a chance to try one, but I think they love them. Go to magicspoon.com/NoDunks and use the code NoDunks for $5 off your order. In addition to your cereal boxes, be sure to grab some cereal bars while supplies last. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee, so if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. That's magicspoon.com/NoDunks to get $5 off a custom bundle of cereal or to try out their delicious new cereal bars while supplies last. Oh, and great news, Magic Spoon is now shipping to Canada and the UK. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this episode.
I don't need a Costco membership, I'm a single person, not a family of 6. I don't need 35 or anything yet, but the food court hot dogs what I wanna get. Only 150, they don't make a profit. I don't want the soda, but I'll take it, I guess. Got them as a kid and I haven't progressed. Costco hot dogs really are the best.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast. On the Athletic Network, a fine network, it's Wednesday, March 9th. We're here back in the Classic Factory. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, Tass? We got our top shot hot boy, ripping them lips, Trey Curry.
Hey-o.
Hey-o. International man of mystery, taking it to the max, Leigh Ellis.
Friends.
Leigh, I should have said taking it to the Shazam. And finally, making the magic happen over yonder, super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is, and here we are. Shout out to the stream team joining us live right now on YouTube. Take a second, like the video. Make sure you comment away in the stream team or in the comments section a little bit later on. And subscribe to No Dunks on YouTube. Keep sending in your emails to nodunks@theathletic.com, or you can tweet them in at NoDunksInc, any of your NBA questions. And big news here today. Survivor is back.
Oh.
Nice. Yes, Survivor back on the airwaves tonight. Season 42. That sounds insane. But that means tomorrow, it's the return of No Buffs, our Survivor recap show, which has its own separate YouTube feed, its own separate Apple podcast feed, Spotify feed, so you got to go search for No Buffs.
It's all grown up.
That's right. So we'll be doing that tomorrow live here from the Classic Factory, which will be new. Trey, JD, and myself with that first episode, recapping tonight's premiere episode, which I believe, JD, is 2 hours. Are you ready?
I am so ready,
Okay.
and this is the first, I'm going in completely blind. Like, I have not seen any of the contestants. I don't know anything about it.
Wow.
I've seen no trailers except for the pseudo trailer that they show at the end of the last season. But yeah, I'm pumped. I'm excited. And wow, did it sneak up on me? Because I was like, it's tonight? Oh my God.
How did it sneak up on you? Don't they have one, only have a break of about a week between seasons,
Leigh.
don't they?
Come on. Don't be so dismissive, man.
There are a couple Canadians in the mix. I know somebody that lives in Whitby is on it.
Wow.
Yeah, how about that, Tass?
Yeah, I saw that actually.
You've been doing a little homework here for Survivor 42, haven't you?
Well, no. Survivor came at me. They've got a Twitter approach I've never seen before. They at you. It's like an elevated promoted tweet.
Oh, wow.
Where there's an at. It's in your mentions.
Wow.
An at Tass
Jeff
Mills
Probst
with
is
a video.
tweeting at you.
Yeah.
Hey, Tass, we're back tonight, baby.
And you can unsubscribe from it, but it's wild.
Okay,
It's wild. Anyways, they're coming. Whitby, there's another Canadian local.
Yeah, there's
somewhere
there's an American
Ontario.
that I think lives in Montreal too. Yeah, there's some Canadian content here.
Jeff Probst is just tweeting at every Canadian. Hey, we got a couple Canadians this season. Great time to get in.
Yeah, all right. So that's No Buffs, our Survivor recap podcast, and of course YouTube show. Again, its own separate feed, so seek that out. We'll go live around 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, but we'll let you know on tomorrow's No Dunks as well. Okay, on today's basketball podcast, we're of course going to get into the games, and then later on, we'll do the most compelling races in the Western Conference.
Great.
We did the East yesterday. It was a big hit. People, the content that it was churning out and the engagement was through the roof.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately, now it's redundant after last night's games, but still.
Oh, hey, come on. The races are still there, Leigh. Things have changed. So anyway, we'll look at the key or the most compelling races in terms of playoff seedings in the Western Conference a little bit later in the show. But we start with the games, and we got to start Tass with Kyrie Irving scoring 50. A damn masterclass, said KD. It's really a masterpiece as the Nets beat the Hornets to snap a 4-game skid, and it's a big win in terms of a potential tiebreaker because they got one more game between the two teams. So what'd you think?
Kyrie dropping 50. Usually you're thinking, some crossover dribbles, some low dribbles, getting to the hoop, but he hit 9 threes. That's a huge number for Kyrie. Most that he had hit before that this season was 3. And you're going to get open shots when KD is passing you the ball. Of course, just stand outside the 3-point line. There was that sexy one when he was really feeling it at this point. Pass from Durant. Kyrie caught it at his face. Didn't bring it down. Straight up, baby.
Near the start of the third quarter. That was insane. You don't see that.
It's like a volleyball.
Yeah.
That was a 3-point shot. Yeah. He only went inside the arc for 6 shots that he made. He got to the free throw line, of course, hit 9 threes. There was a 3 late. I think it was a few minutes left in the fourth to give him 46, and it was a deep 3. Again, something you don't see from Kyrie really, a 31-footer. But of course, he was feeling it. He was asked after the game, "Did you know how many you had at that point?" That was his answer, just 4 letters. And then he got 2 more baskets at the end.
How are you spelling that?
Yeah, I guess it's 5. I mean,
well, go ahead, spell it out.
I mean, two M's. 2 M's.
MM.
Yeah,
And then HMM.
Yeah, I guess that's 5. Okay. But it was so short, I cut off an M at the end.
Right.
Anyway, so under a minute left. That's when he got inside the arc. Somebody pressed him. I think it was Terry Rozier pressing him way above the 3-point line. And he did the push ahead, like Chris Paul cut dribble in the middle of an NBA defense because he's feeling so freaking good. And he floated to the rim and floated it in. Yeah, beautiful stuff. I saw this stat. I thought it was kind of bonkers. He's been in Brooklyn 3 seasons. He's played only 91 games over the course of 3 seasons. And he scored 40-plus points 9 times. So like 10% of his games when he goes out there. When he plays, he puts points on the board. And it was a good, you bring up the standings, it was a good win for the Nets. It was kind of fun watching them. That's not a word you really use with the Brooklyn Nets this season with so much going on to me because it was a team effort, really. Again, it's not something you really say about the Brooklyn Nets, but Durant had a quiet game. Kyrie showing why he's one of the best. Yep. Seth Curry cold, but Patty stepping up. And Goran Dragic, a guy they just got, really their backup point guard now. That's why they're fine giving away Javon Carter. Because Dragic, 7 assists off the bench. I thought he was really, really good. He joined this team because he thinks they're going to make a big run. You're going to need lots of supporting guys, and a guy like Bruce Brown being that glue guy. 14 points, 8 boards, 5 assists, 3 steals. As much as I think they can make a deep run, they're still not playing together, which is the crazy thing. I mean, they look like they were together on this night, but on the one hand, you got a guy scoring half 100 points, but he plays in half the games. And Kyrie, Simmons, when is their first game going to be together?
Right.
Playoffs? I mean, it's
Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
On the road.
Yeah, on the road.
Exactly,
yeah,
right.
yeah. They're now in 8th. They're a 500 team currently, but when KD plays, they're 11 games above 500. So they're like a 52-53 win team with KD playing, and that's without Kyrie for a lot of the games. So they're great, and they're not so great in the same breath. But Thursday in Philadelphia is obviously going to be really, really, really exciting. Kevin Durant was asked, do you have to talk to Ben Simmons about sitting on the bench? Do you have to give him some advice because, you had the cupcake game when you went back to OKC, everybody with the monstrous cupcake signs, and Durant said, no, nobody needs to hold his hand. He's going to be fine. I don't know what's going to happen. I still think this is crazy, but I still think he's getting a tribute video.
They didn't do it for KD, right? In OKC.
Yeah, but OKC
they're a bit weird though.
OKC doesn't retire numbers. They don't do tribute videos.
Right.
I mean, JJ Redick got one with the Sixers.
Right.
I did a little research. I did some YouTube researching. I don't know how far low you go, but everybody gets a tribute video.
So you think a break in the first quarter, they're going to do the little minute, 90-second, thanks, Ben Simmons.
I think
and then
so.
People are just going to boo insanely, and then maybe he'll still wave to them?
I think so. I think that'll happen.
I don't see it happening, but I mean, it could. You're right.
And I think you can check our YouTube algorithm because we all use the same YouTube account.
Yeah.
I think I searched Ben Simmons. I think I was searching Sixers tribute videos, and a Ben Simmons tribute video came up because it was a jokey joke. I started watching it. All of a sudden, it goes black and white, and it's Ben Simmons passing the ball underneath the hoop against the Sixers last year in the playoffs. It got me. But I was checking how low do they go. JJ Redick got one. Did Marco Bellinelli get one? Couldn't find that. But I don't know. There is a line. Like Nickeil Alexander-Walker just left the Pelicans. He didn't get one.
Right.
Yeah, there's got to be a cutoff point.
Did Jimmy Butler? Jimmy Butler, he was
with the Sixers. That's a good question.
The Sixers.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good moments.
I don't know. But Ben,
there should be a database that we could search for these.
Tribute videos, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk a little bit more about Kyrie here because he did 50 points in 19 shots.
Yeah.
15 and 19 overall, 9 and 12 from 3, like Tass said, and 11 and 13 at the line. I mean, it's almost a perfect game, especially from a guard position.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very close.
Alex Schiffer had a report on the game, and he said afterwards that Kevin Durant was like, damn, I didn't know he had it cooking like that. It's like, Kevin Durant doesn't know that Kyrie Irving could go nuts in games and shoot like that.
Maybe he means within this one game.
Oh,
sort of
right,
like,
okay.
It came up like
caught
me by surprise that he was already at 20 points. You know?
No, look, there's never been a question about Kyrie's ability and his talent and his way he can score and get hot. We've seen it when he was in those first Cleveland years. He had it when he had nobody else around him. I think he had an 11 3-point game and a 55-point game.
11 was his high, yeah.
Yeah, so he's always had the talent. It's just the sort of sideshow that he brings there, whether or not he's interested in playing. Because when you look at a convincing performance last night against another team that is desperate to make the playoffs, it really wasn't even close from the start. And Kevin Durant, as Tass mentioned, he didn't actually do all that much. He didn't have to last night because Kyrie was the one who took over. He can be a scorer, he can be a shooter, he can distribute, he can do it all. So you've got to be, if you're Steve Nash and the front office there, you've got to be like, now he's probably going to be able to play here soon. It sounds like the mandates are going to be lifted. I'm not sure exactly, but
right.
I would say by the playoffs he probably will be playing in these home games, which is now a month or so away, which is great. But
think about if he's still not allowed to play. How weird this will be. In a playoff series, like in like a must-win game at home, let's say, and he still doesn't have it, and he's probably not going to get it. I mean, it's crazy to just think that he'd be like, nope, I'm not going to do it, and we might lose the championship because of it, because they could win the title.
And if they play in game, let's say, is against Toronto, he definitely won't be able to go to Canada if he's unvaccinated.
Well, unless that's changed too.
I don't think that is. I think if you're unvaccinated, I don't think you're allowed in. Anyway, that's another story. Look, he's incredibly fun to watch. He's a cool looking guy out there. He switches hands. He goes inside. He's got the ball on the string. I've said before, he's a dual-handed player. Because he can just make those moves. So it's incredibly frustrating knowing that he's not playing simply because he chooses not to for half the games of the Nets this season.
Jamal Crawford tweeted last night, Kyrie is an artist to the highest degree. That's a damn good tweet there from Jamal Crawford. Beautiful. Yeah, I like that. I think that works sort of in two ways with Kyrie, Trey. One, of course, like the artistry that he presents on the court, the way he gets his baskets, how smooth it is, just how graceful he can be. And I think it works also too when you think of like artists today. because of what they're doing besides the music at times, get all the headlines, and you forget like why you fell in love with that particular artist in the first place. And I think Kyrie very similar. If you were to compare him to like a Kanye or something like that, there's all
Kanye's been very important to my family throughout the ages, so to see him go from being an artist to just a mouthpiece is very strange to me. Should I buy his new records?
Well, you need to buy the stem.
Well, I'm not ever gonna do that.
Oh, okay.
I haven't listened to the same Kanye song twice in like 10 years. Like you listen to it once and it's gone forever.
We listened to one on a road trip when we went to Memphis.
Did we?
Yeah.
What was it?
Oh, man.
Hey.
Somebody get the Shazam app.
Anyways, it was good for a second.
The old songs are great.
Yeah, it was an old
The man's
song.
lost it.
Are you going to watch the Netflix doc?
No.
3-parter.
No. Too long.
Apparently it's good.
Is there a comparison, though, to what sort of I'm saying here, and I guess really Jamal Crawford's saying, I guess what I'm getting at is because of all the things that happen and the things that are said and his decisions he makes off the court, that we can forget at times that, oh my God,
He's a walking
incredible.
bucket? Are you saying people forget that Kyrie Irving is a walking bucket?
100%. I don't think I do, but I know a lot of people.
I don't think people forget it, but they don't get to see it enough. So maybe in that way, he's an artist like Kendrick Lamar, who actually is an artist and continues to release great material. It just doesn't come out all the time.
Sure.
Right? It's a lot more spaced out. But if I were going to compare Kyrie Irving to anything last night, it would be Dennis Scott's television segment Shooter's Paradise, because this was the perfect setup for Kyrie. He was coming off a bad game, 19 points on 18 shots against the Celtics. He wanted to impress because he doesn't get to play in every game. This is only his 17th game of the season. He was also playing against the Hornets defense, which you make 2 passes, you're getting an open shot. So like you were saying, Tass, when you think of a Kyrie Irving high-scoring game, you assume it's going to be a lot of breaking guys down off the dribble, crazy finishes in the lane, and he did have a couple of that, but it was mostly wide open catch and shoots. Or like he's just standing there, but the guy is 2 steps off for some reason, so he just pops it in your face. But it's super impressive, man. When he's on fire, there's few players that are more fun to watch than Kyrie. It's like him and Steph are like incredible shot makers to watch. So yeah, the artistry was there. It was a bit of a masterclass, I would say, because I just had an auto renewal for masterclass. I didn't know it was going to happen. Just like I didn't know Kyrie was going to have a 50-point game last night. He just shows up. You're like, oh, there's a charge. There's a 50-point game. If I were going to be worried about anything, though, I'd be worried about the Hornets. 4-11 since February 1st. They've got one more loss than the Hawks already, who are down in the 10th spot, and they're tied with the Wizards in the loss column, though Charlotte does have 3 more wins. They kind of got a middle-of-the-road schedule. Both Atlanta and Washington have easier schedules.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know that the Hornets are a play-in lock. I think it's still a chance they fall out of the top 10 seeds because they have been brutal.
It is so similar to last season for the Hornets. Gordon Hayward goes down, and their season, you lose a good Gord, and your season starts to fall apart. I mean, I know he's not like an all-NBA player at this point of his career. I guess he maybe never was, but he was an all-star. But he is so important, and they miss him. And, this is a big game. I said it on yesterday's show when we were looking at the compelling, East playoff races, and we were talking about the play-in sort of teams here. They're tied now, this series, Hornets and Nets, and they have one more game, and that will decide, potentially a tiebreaker if they're to be tied come the end of the season. And that could mean, probably, let's say, an 8th or 9th seed, or even a 9th or 10th seed, I guess, is in play. If they are tied in the records, whoever wins that last game, which I think is in late March. So big win, of course, and big game from Kyrie.
Yeah.
To snap a losing streak, too. They had lost 4 in a row.
Yeah, and they are last in terms of the number of losses that they have in terms of all those teams, because they've played the most games. So the Hawks could easily pass them. So, they have 34 losses. That's the same amount as the Washington Wizards, who are in 11th. So if the Wizards win their games, they're tied. I mean, it is nuts. Since LaMelo Ball was named as a replacement, they just have gone downhill since he was named as an all-star replacement. Yeah, Gordon Hayward. It's large. It's looming over their team. Every single possession, it's like they don't want to play defense. It was really bad. And they traded for Montrezl Harrell, who's also not a premium defender there.
Yeah, no, they were 26-20 at one point, and they've gone 6-12 or 6-14 since then, and that just shows they just can't sort of get out of their own way. They're not good enough defensively, and they just don't have the offensive firepower. I don't think they try to outscore teams, obviously, but they have so many leaks defensively. Teams just run up points against them too easily.
Another game last night, Darius Garland scores career-high 41 to lead the Cavs past the Pacers in a very close game, Trey.
Yeah, this was a special one for Darius Garland. 41 points career high. Also added 13 assists. I personally only caught the fourth quarter live, but I felt fine because that was the good part. Pacers led by 8 coming into the quarter, and that lead was gone in 2 minutes. But indeed, to their credit, they didn't go away. They kept playing hard in this one. There's a lot of weird stuff that happened in the last minute of this game. But Darius Garland also didn't go away in the fourth. 21 points in the fourth quarter, 7 of 10 from the field, hit 2 threes, 5 of 5 at the line. Leigh, I know you love it.
Yep.
He was living in the lane. It did not matter what the Pacers were throwing at him. Sometimes it was a switch. Sometimes it was a trap. Sometimes it was a bigger guy. Sometimes it was a smaller guy. He was just blowing by him and then having these crazy, funky finishes in the lane. It was a little bit like Chris Paul to me, a little bit like Kyle Lowry, a little Isaiah Thomas, where it feels like he not only plays bigger than his size, but also like wider. Like, I don't understand how a Darius Garland, who is a pretty small guy, is able to carve out so much space inside. He also did a quick kiss to the crowd after a three-pointer. You know, we usually see like a Kelly Oubre or a Lee Ellis sort of style.
Right. Real flair.
Very dramatic three, but I love it when a guy hits one. It's just a little, just like, get him out of here. Masterful stuff from Darius Garland. Best take I saw on this came from the most plugged-in Cavs fan I know, a fellow by the name of Toss Malas. He tweeted, with Jared Allen out, the Cavs are going to have to win on offense, and that means it's on Darius Garland's shoulders. Those shoulders look very strong. That's almost exactly what happened. The Cavs couldn't get a stop until basically the very end when Lamar Stevens, Dean Wade made a couple of plays, but they had DG the PG, and that's all that really mattered.
And thanks to Jalen Smith as well there for the...
He didn't know what the score was. Is that what it was? I mean, he fouled. It was a tie game, and he fouls, and they don't have a foul to give with, 10 seconds, 14 seconds
it was 14,
ago? Yeah, and so he just didn't know.
Yeah, well, I guess he just thought they weren't in the bonus. But even still, you just don't need to foul in that situation. But young man had a decent game, made a mistake.
Well, he hit a big three that got them back into the game.
He did.
But there was some other crazy. He nearly threw the ball away. Not too long before that, but Tyrese Halliburton made an incredible save to keep it for the Pacers. Anyway, it was insane, but Lamar Stevens did have that huge block there too. Weird ending, Tess. But the Cavs, they pulled it out because of Garland.
Yeah, they desperately need Garland to just do everything, especially with Karis LeVert out beside him as well. They are lacking guards, and Pacers just got it out of his hands eventually, and they would just give it back to him. But the Cavs did enough around Darius Garland to. I hear what you're saying with all those comparisons to guys. I mean, he looks small when he gets into the lane, but he's able to just find angles no matter what, to just sort of reach behind him and throw the ball up and just get it up on the rim no matter what. And we talk about guys like Markelle Fultz. So he's getting better in relative anonymity in Orlando. I kind of think about that with Darius Garland his first couple of years in Cleveland. Like, he had to figure out how to play with Colin Sexton and how to just get better. I think we were quick to label guys like, oh, this guy is whatever in this league, and now this is year number 3 for him, and he is just an incredible player. Obviously guys are going to get better in the first 3 years, but I guess I'm just saying I didn't watch a lot of Cleveland Cavaliers basketball the last 2 seasons before these Cavs got good, and now this guy is an all-world talent. I mean, it's just seeming like everything is so perfect for these Cavs, like 1 through 6, and they're going to be a tough out no matter who they play. They obviously need Karis LeVert back. They need Jared Allen back, which is kind of scary. The reports on him that he may not be back for the entire regular season, but they are a playoff team. They're not dropping into the play-in, and good for them.
Do you think the Pacers were just secretly trying to tank the game though?
Yes.
With the foul? Wow.
Well, not with the foul, but they were not disappointed they lost that one.
Right. Interesting way to tweak it there. So the Cavs, a big win here. I said again yesterday's show, I think Cleveland's going to be the 6th seed, and I think there could be some hijinks with teams that are currently ranked 2, 3, 4. Everybody might want that 3rd seed. The Jared Allen missing is a big piece of that, why I think they're going to stay there, and also why teams would want to play them. A young Cavs team, you got to contain Darius Garland, but if you can figure out that, you like your chances to probably win a series. But man, he's putting up 41. He's going to give your team a chance any game, and they might get a couple off whoever they're playing in a first-round series. It's nice to see that they're locked in. We're getting the Cavs in a first-round series that will very likely be on NBA TV.
Well, it depends if the Raptors make it, I suppose.
That's a good point. Good point.
Here's how locked in they were. This is sort of a homecoming game for Darius Garland. He's from Indiana. So his family was going to be in town to watch him play in Indiana. He says, road games, though, every time my immediate family come, we lose. So my mom's like super superstitious. So yeah, that's probably the reason why they didn't come. We talked about it last night. I was kind of mad that they didn't come actually after the game. His family decided to stay home because they're like, we need this win. We would love to see you play, but we want you to get the W first so you can go to the playoffs. Mom, dad, sister, I believe, did not show up. So he just went out and went 41-13, made him regret it. I love it. I love it.
Interesting. And Mobley, too, 22, 12, 3, and then 5 steals and a block. When we were talking about who's most likely to get a 5x5, was Mobley's name brought up? Yeah, man.
Him and Barnes.
That's good. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Him and Scotty Barnes.
Well, yeah, man. He's going to do it. I'm confident in that just he'll have one of those crazy games. You know, you got to have one of those plays where I think you get like 3 blocks on basically one possession. You know, like the block. That really helps chances to get to 5. But he obviously can do it in the other categories. Good game from him. And Markkanen with 21 too. In 30 minutes, pretty good.
I was just checking Garland's basketball reference page. Did you know he was called DG the PG, or was that you the first time?
They say it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they do say it.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And his middle name is Kennard. Like Luke Kennard.
That's what he's named
Different
after,
spelling.
actually.
There you go. All right.
You had me there for a second.
Winston, big Luke Kennard fan when he named his son. All right, next game here. I can't believe this is a headline. All right, but this is the real AP headline. Klay Thompson, surprised by Will Ferrell, lifts Warriors over Clippers.
Yeah.
So we can talk about the game if you want, but the big story from this is Will Ferrell dressed as Jackie Moon, surprising Klay Thompson, Curry, and the Warriors in warm-ups and shooting around with them for like 10 minutes or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And he even stuck a wedgie, as we're showing you here on the stream team. Well, eventually, look, jumper looks okay, to be completely honest.
It looks fine, unfortunately...
what is going on here?
This game did peak before the game even tipped off because we had Kawhi Leonard out knocking down shots, and then we also had...
Right, I saw Tass tweeting about that.
And then we had Will Ferrell. But this was something that Steve Kerr apparently, like, he talked to him about. He wanted to just get, like, Klay looser. You know, he's been playing a bit tight, hasn't been playing all that well. And Klay said during his rehab, he just watched that movie, made him laugh. That's his Mrs. Doubtfire to me. It's like, that's your drought buster. That's what you need there. Will Ferrell just came out, and it was, you know what, it was funny. It was like, yeah, great, this is it. The only thing was, when he was closing out him in the corner, I was like, don't get too close to him. And Klay said that as well. He's like, I didn't want him getting under my feet there.
Right.
Imagine the disaster that would be. It was like,
Will Ferrell injures Klay Thompson in pregame warm-up.
But that honestly was the highlight of this game, because otherwise there was not much. The Warriors desperately needed a win. The Clippers basically just said, yeah, we're not going to try all that hard tonight. And that's what happened. The Warriors won this game comfortably.
Well, the funny part to me is, like, Will Ferrell's there to, like, get Klay out of his funk, maybe even Curry a little bit, but those guys continued to stink in terms of shooting, and it was Kuminga and Moody had a pretty good game, Jordan Poole and stuff like that, to take care of the Clippers.
Yeah, Wiggins played well when they're winning by a heap, of course.
Got him.
Yeah, no, I mean, but you know, Steve Kerr, I remember I've heard him talk about this in the past. He's like, you've got to play with joy. You've got to play with that looseness and that happiness. And so something like this, and you hear coaches do these sorts of things from time to time to try to get, not this.
Not have Will Ferrell show up to shoot around
they try to get their players to just loosen up and not be too stressed and tense about things. And so, you know, I think that was a mood lifter last night. It's like, let's just have some fun out here, and Will Ferrell's perfect for that role, because
his role.
The hair's a little grayer. He's a little bit older, but he was out there having some fun, and that was it. I was watching that, and I'm like, oh. And then you see the game, like, just go back to the pre-game stuff. That was much better.
Yeah, what do you think of Kerr's inspirational move here to get Will Ferrell out there?
He hit a lot of shots. He hit a shot from the logo.
Yeah, he did. That's true. He did it a deep bomb.
So I was surprised
he said,
by that.
I make those in my sleep as well.
So obviously there was controversy with Will Ferrell not being in winning time, not playing the role of Jerry Buss.
Can somebody break this down to me? What's the TLDR on this? Will Ferrell, Adam McKay, him not being a winning time. I've heard you guys talk about it in the office. I don't really know what really went down.
Will Ferrell, big Lakers fan.
Yes.
wanted to play Dr. Jerry Buss in Winning Time.
Okay.
Close friend with Adam McKay.
Absolutely.
You're thinking,
No brainer.
bust it up. I don't think so. Will. That's what Adam said. So they went with John C. Reilly. That pissed Will Ferrell off. Now Will Ferrell and Adam McKay are no longer business partners or friends.
Wow.
Because he doesn't get to be Dr. Jerry Buss.
Yeah. Not only were they
So now
friends,
he has to show up as Jackie Moon at a different basketball game so people remember he also likes basketball.
So is he going to make semi-pro too? Is that what's also going on here? Was this footage they were using? Like,
I think this is footage that they could use in Winning Time. And
In Winning Time? What?
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? Just him on the floor. You blur out all the Warriors' faces so we don't know that it's Klay and Steph. We just pretend. I mean, there's so many different video formats in that show. We could just pretend.
Point. Some of those were blurry enough that you could slide them in.
Totally. Yeah, you could just slide it in there, and maybe that's an olive branch to Will Ferrell. Hey, you made the show. Probably not.
Okay.
But the choice for Jerry Buss pretty good. But anyways, we won't
are
get into
John C.
that.
Reilly and Will Ferrell at least still brothers?
Step.
Oh yeah, okay, that's good.
Now their parents divorced after that's all went down. It's tragic stuff, man.
All right. Anything to add to the game here? I know the Warriors get the win, which is keeping them close, obviously, to the Grizzlies.
They needed it, yeah.
Who got the victory as well in that little race, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the show for that second seed.
Well, Monday is a big day for them because Draymond Green should be coming back, as he said on his podcast. He's dropping it. No one else is.
He's the source.
No one else is going to outsauce Draymond. So yes, Monday is a big day for them for sure because everything fits a lot better with him in there.
The other games last night, if you guys have any comments, fire away. But we had Ja Morant and the Grizzlies. They built an early, massive lead to beat the Pelicans 132-111. That was the first game on TNT. We had Giannis scoring 39 as the Bucks beat the Thunder for their fifth straight victory. And Mikal Bridges blocked a shot to save the Suns 102-99. I guess it was Franz Wagner lining up a three-pointer at the end. Could have tied it to beat the Magic. So Grizzlies, Bucks, Suns all getting wins that we expected them to last night. I guess the Grizzlies sent a message there. I thought they bounced back after that loss to the Rockets. Again, on TNT, beating a very hot Pelicans team easily.
Well, Ingram was ruled out just before the game, which certainly affected their offense. But no, the Grizzlies were locked in from the start. This was a 20-point game in the first quarter. Basically stayed that way, so that one was over there. But Mikal Bridges, that block, his arm looks like it's about 9 feet long in that one there. But Cole Anthony as well got whacked in the face by Mo Bamba in that one. Came back. And he
had the bandage and then the low headband, right?
And the NBA.com recap said, it's right between the eyes, is what Kevin Harlan would say. But hit some shots, and that's the thing with Cole Anthony. Like he's like, all right, patch me up. I'm getting back out there for my guys. So they were competitive, came closer, but a highlight reel defensive stop to win this game. So don't see too many of them, but well done.
And another good game in that one for Campaign, who's done an admirable job task, like filling in obviously for Chris Paul, who's out, and no Booker, and he's being asked to carry a much heavier offensive load, and he's coming through.
He's had a subpar season after being so key to them last year in the finals. He basically won them a game in the conference finals, I believe. That's when he came through for Chris Paul, who is out. And so I think this is probably good for him. Number one, play better. Number two, responsibility goes up. Because it could happen in the postseason as well. We don't know how long Chris Paul is going to be out. So, great for them. I thought it was really weird when Franz got blocked. And there was still like 4 or 5 seconds left on the clock. And then Mikal Bridges and the Suns just dribbled it out.
Yeah.
Franz did nothing. He didn't want to foul. I guess he was, he was obviously pissed that he got blocked. But, it could still be 2 missed free throws, Franz. You could still have another shot, Franz.
Come on, Franz. They probably don't really want to win these games all that much. That's a perfect, it's in Orlando, competitive game. Cole Anthony had a chance at a jumper that would have put them up. I know Cam missed one too. Crowd's getting a great game and their team loses. And that's probably good for, where they're going with their season and the wins they're at, and hopefully they get another high draft pick to add to this. Some promising young guys there.
Yep, clutch loss, especially considering the Pistons keep winning games right now.
Yeah,
great stuff by the Magic there. Nice game from DeAndre Ayton, 21 and 19. One thing I don't like: one free throw attempt. The guy was shooting all floaters, I don't know, just a little finessey to me. He obviously performed well, and he was big time in the lane. He was in the lane all the time. That's why you're seeing nice assist numbers for Payne and a solid game for Aaron Holiday as well. But I would love to see him dunk. Like seriously throw one down. He made a couple of nice plays late in the fourth quarter here. I think he scored the last 2 buckets for Phoenix. Yeah. But still, he's just a big, strong, biggest guy out there. He's doing big guy stuff. But it's like all dinkers and dumpers.
He's a dinker and dumper.
But it's like even his dinkers and dumpers are like so gentle. Like I feel like they don't even hit the rim to like dink and dump around there. I obviously floater is the other word there, but there's something in between a floater and a dinker.
A drifter?
Sure.
Monty Williams after the game described it as an adult game from.
Yeah, he did.
That was very adult.
Maybe a plunker.
Oh, plunker. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
That sounds like it would make a loud noise though as well. I don't know.
It would splash. Yeah. I mean, these are swishes. Yeah. Those are push shots. Drifter, plunker, bobber. No.
Let's get some help
Velvety.
from the stream team.
What
Chime
are we even
in.
talking about?
Yeah, they're probably like, what help do you want? Why are you saying just weird words right now? So you're looking for something between a floater and then a dinker dumper.
Yeah. I mean, it's a floater. He was shooting floaters.
Yeah, but
when it's a big guy, it feels like it should be a dinker or a dumper.
It's also not a floater to me because he's so tall, he does not have to put a lot of height on it like a guard generally does.
Dropper.
I mean, it's a push shot to me. It's not even a floater. It's like a Hassan Whiteside special, But 21-19.
Yeah.
Great game.
Big numbers.
Adult game. And any other notes on the Grizzlies' big win or the Bucks' big win? No, just taking care of business.
Yeah, the standings are always important, as we'll get to here.
Yep.
Grizzlies, Warriors, jostling for that 2 seed.
That's exactly right. Let's take our first break. When we come back, there are basically 5 weeks left to go in the regular season. We'll look at the most compelling races in the Western Conference. Don't go anywhere.
Shout out to Daniel Tiger. It's Chime time. Chime is an award-winning app and debit card with no overdraft fees, foreign transaction fees, monthly fees, or service fees. It's also the jersey sponsor of the Dallas Mavericks, and with over 60,000 fee-free in-network ATMs at many locations, like most Walgreens, 7-Elevens, and CVS's, you can access your money when you need it, where you need it, and for that reason, I'm in. Shark Tank. Mark Cuban. Dallas Mavericks Chime.
Yeah, nice.
Join over 10 million people using Chime. Sign up takes only 2 minutes and it doesn't affect your credit score. Get started today at chime.com/nodunks. That's chime.com/nodunks. JD, roll that beautiful disclaimer footage.
Banking services provided by and debit card issued by the Bank Corp Bank or Stride Bank NA, members FDIC. Get fee-free transactions at any MoneyPass ATM in a 7-Eleven location and at any Allpoint or Visa Plus Alliance ATM. Otherwise, out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees may apply. Sometimes pay anyone instant transfers can be delayed. The recipient must use a valid debit card or be a Chime member to claim funds.
I'm here to talk to you about the new Starbucks Baya energy drink. With caffeine naturally found in coffee fruit, it's energy that's good. Coffee beans are the roasted seeds of coffee fruit. That just blows my mind every time I think about that. Yeah. Starbucks Baya energy drink is a beverage that is crafted from caffeine naturally found in coffee fruit, as well as antioxidant vitamin C, with some delicious fruity flavors that we have here on the table. Mango guava. I've got pineapple passion fruit, raspberry lime out there, and that can, that glorious can, you can get me with a can anytime. I am a sucker for beverage packaging.
Nice.
Look at that raspberry lime.
That one
can.
pops.
That's a beauty.
It's like you're taking the Rainbow Road to Raspberry Town on that one.
I love the designer work on that one. Each 12-ounce, 90-calorie can contains 160 milligrams of that natural caffeine. What a boost. Perfect for while we're playing pickup. There's 2-hour sessions happening on Wednesday. You need a little boost for a 2-hour pickup session these days. Or spike ball.
Ooh. Oh, is it spike ball season here?
It's coming,
in the
baby.
South?
Yeah.
There we go. All right.
Yeah, I've got it on the brain because it's getting a little warm out here. Or just a quick midday pick-me-up. Starbucks Baya energy drink is available online at grocery stores, convenience stores, and gas stations nationwide.
During this great reshuffle, a record number of employees are considering switching jobs. So now's your chance to try and attract them. LinkedIn Jobs is here to help you connect with the people you want to interview faster and for free. I'm actually thinking about using LinkedIn Jobs to find someone to help me write creative ad copy. Yeah. Wild, eh? Sort of next level thinking. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Then add your job and the purple #hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread word that you're hiring so your network can help you find the right people to hire. I like that little addition. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. That's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Fast like me. Did you know every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/nodunks. That's linkedin.com/nodunks to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Okay, back in the Classic Factory. As I said, 5 weeks to go in the regular season. On yesterday's show, we looked at the most compelling races in the East. Let's do the West today, guys. And again, I got 3 particular races to keep your eye on down the home stretch here. We'll start with the race for the #2 seed in the Western Conference. Just talking about the Grizzlies and the Warriors both picking up wins last night. So who is in the mix? Well, the Suns are clear. They're the #1 seed. Good on you, Phoenix. But you got the Grizzlies right now a half game up on the Warriors. Why does it matter? Well, dummy, you want home court advantage in a potential second round matchup between the two teams. Like, they could be seeing each other in the second round. And trivia question, can you tell me the last Western Conference team to make the finals that wasn't a #1 or 2 seed? It's been a while.
Like, how much of a while?
Well, I mean,
not Rockets, mid-90s.
not that far, but I think that's pretty crazy that it's like the #1 or 2 seed has made it to the finals from the West since this last team.
San Antonio?
No.
Dallas Mavericks 2011.
That's exactly right. And that is even a bit of a, weren't they sort of the second seed? The 2010-11 Mavs finished as the 3rd seed, though they had the same record as the Lakers at 57-25, who were the #2 seed. So anyway, point is, you want to help your chances here to be the 1 or 2 seed, especially in a tough Western Conference. So this is an important race. I know, Tass, you keep talking about how you want the Grizzlies to have the #2 seed to help their chances to at least move on a little bit.
Yeah, just because they're so young, I'd like to see them get that little advantage. And, I also think the Warriors have been there, done that. They can play more road games. Now, people will say, oh, come on, the Warriors just aren't the same team that they were at the beginning of the season. It's true. They're 16-15 without Draymond Green, but they're 28-6 with him.
Yep.
So I think they're going to be a different team the last month. I know they got to get into a better flow, but there's still time for them to do what they did a few months ago. And give the Grizzlies plenty of home games. I mean, we're already talking about them in the second round. Let's get them a first round win first.
Yeah, it's true. So who has the advantage? Well, the Grizzlies have the easier remaining strength of schedule. Though, Tass said it, Draymond Green, he's returning on March 14th. That completely changes the Warriors team. And who knows when Jackie Moon's actually going to get into the rotation. The Warriors currently hold the tiebreaker 2-1, but they play one more game. That's big, March 28th. So if the Grizzlies win that, then the season series is split 2-2. Then the division leader wins a tie over a team not leading a division. Well, the Warriors, last I checked, are still in the Pacific Division. Suns are winning that one. The Grizzlies could win theirs and very well could get this on a tiebreaker. Again, they have to win that March 28th game to make it 2-2, and then it could go to that if they're tied in the standings. Do you have a prediction, though, for this race for the #2 seed? Who's going to have it in the end? Is it going to be Grizzlies or Warriors, especially with Draymond coming back?
Yeah, I think Memphis can hang on. I think it's way more important for them than it is for the Warriors, because when you're a young team, you want those home courts. You want potentially a Game 7 at home. When you're the Warriors, and we've already sort of heard it from Steph, playing the mind games a little bit, we don't care. We don't care. We've been there. We've won it all. We can win anywhere. Exactly. That's, they made the finals 5 years in a row, so they should believe that they can go and win and beat anybody, especially when Draymond comes back. With Draymond out of that team, they're not a contender. When he comes back in, if he can be back to his best, before the playoffs, the Warriors could, I think, that's then they can go all the way to the finals.
Mm-hmm. How much confidence do you have in the Grizzlies to go super, super far in the playoffs, Trey? Like, I know there's a lot of buzz building for them being why couldn't they be a Western Conference finalists? Do you believe that, or is it like it's tough to jump from like not really being in the playoffs? I know they sort of had a little dance there, but then to make that like big leap where you win a bunch of series. Do you believe that?
Well, assuming they stay in the number 2 seed, which seems kind of likely to me, because it feels like the Warriors, even when Draymond comes back, they're going to be getting him up to speed. Wiseman is also apparently going to come back likely on that Monday as well. They're still just going to be figuring out stuff for the end of the season because they want to be at their best when the playoffs start. And like Tass is saying, they're used to playing playoff games with their main 4 or 5 guys, so they'll be able to figure that out. I think the Grizzlies staying at number 2, they would be favorites in their first round series, or whether it's against Minnesota, who's currently number 7 and would have the advantage in the play-in tournament. I mean, maybe you would give the Lakers the advantage if they somehow get up to the number 7 and Davis is healthy and LeBron is healthy and everything clicks at the perfectly right time. But I still think Memphis is going to be favorites over whoever comes out of the play-in tournament. But it's going to be interesting to see because the Grizzlies' strength is not half-court offense. So you think their offense is probably going to slow down. Teams take better care of the ball in general in the postseason, so they won't have as many transition opportunities off of turnovers as well. So to me, they should win their first-round series, and then I think it's going to be a toss-up second-round series. Probably goes to Game 7, depending on who they play, but it seems to be that maybe their advantage that they've seen throughout the season of playing harder, playing faster, and just getting tons of turnovers, that probably goes away a little bit in the playoffs, and that becomes a different game for a team that's never advanced at that point. So I think a tough second-round series is certainly possible, and if they catch the right breaks, they're going to the conference finals.
Yeah, it's crazy to think. Yeah. All right, our next race here to keep your eye on in the West, the 4th seed specifically in the Western Conference, because we just talked about who's likely going to be finishing 2nd and 3rd between the Grizzlies and Warriors. But who's in the mix for the 4th seed? Well, we're showing it to you here on the stream team. You got the Jazz, you got the Mavericks, you got the Nuggets, and we'll include the Timberwolves because 4 games separates these 4 teams. That's, look, we're starting to run out of time, but that's not a whole lot, especially if you play each other a couple times. You can make up a game right there in one night with one win. So why does this matter? Well, I feel that these teams are so evenly matched that I think you're going to want, maybe even need, that Game 7 in front of your own fans, in a potential first round series. If you're the 4th seed and you're playing whoever is the 5th seed, that could be huge. And again, I've included the Wolves, in the play-in tournament right now, but they're trying to get their way out of it. Who has the advantage is very tough to figure out, and who's going to, ultimately win the 4th seed, I think is even more difficult. But the Mavs have one of the easiest remaining schedules in the league. Only the Hawks and Blazers have quote-unquote easier competition left to play. So that's big. That said, Dallas has 2 Eastern Conference road trips still. They got a 5-game road trip and a 4-game road trip in length. So, you're going out on the road still. And they have important games, the Mavs do. 2 against the Wolves. And they're going to try and even the regular season there against the Utah Jazz as well. So big games here. When any of those 4 teams, I think, are going to be playing over the next couple of weeks, like it's must-watch TV. And we could get the Conference 1 lost percentage tiebreaker between Dallas and Utah. Could come into play, again, if the regular season series is eventually even, because they play one more time between those 2 teams. But what's your prediction for 4, 5, 6, 7 here? How's this going to shake out?
I mean, honestly, the way the Mavericks are playing right now, and you just said they've got a pretty decent schedule coming home.
They do.
I think they could probably get it and steal it, and that'd be tough for the Jazz because we just saw the Mavs really punk the Jazz, and then 10 days ago, the Jazz did win that game. But I think if you're the Mavericks, you're looking at that series right now thinking, we'll take them in the first round. I think they would love to have them. Denver, of course, I don't think you're going to see an impactful Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray back. So I think it's kind of like Jokic has to do it all. That's probably a team you'd want to take if you had home court advantage because it's just so much that they have to do. And then the Timberwolves, I just don't think they can get up that high. So I would say the Mavericks probably steal that number 4 and don't really mind who they have to battle for that 5th spot there.
Okay, what do you think, Tess?
We got a heck of a race, huh?
Yeah.
Could be any of these 3 teams. I think the Jazz have been consistently the best team of all these throughout the season. Well, I mean, I can't predict. It is odd to hear that the Mavs have the easiest schedule because they have a road-heavy schedule, as you said, those road trips. So they have the most road games, and that's tough. But I do believe in the Nugs, though, and I do believe those guys are going to come back and help, whether it's Porter and Murray or one or the other. Yeah, I'm riding the back of Jokic, but all those teams definitely want home court advantage. So it's going to be we got a race here.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Especially, I mean, if you remove the Wolves, they obviously want to get out in the play-in, but that 4, 5, 6, Utah, Dallas, and Denver, like all three of them desperately want, again, a potential Game 7 in a first-round series in their own barn. But how do you see it shaking out, Trey?
Well, I think we're going to know about the Mavericks at the end of next week. They've got the Celtics, Nets, and 76ers on Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. Like we said, those are all on the road.
Yep.
Those are 3 huge games right there. That probably will give us a pretty clear indication of what things are looking like when we're looking at the standings, next Saturday. You guys check standings on the weekends?
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
yes.
Sickos. I love it.
I'm very
Standing
close
Saturday.
to starting my daily tweet of if the playoffs started today. We're a mere, I don't know, a week from it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing. I know Matt Moore's been doing his magic numbers. He's also been doing his tragic numbers with regards to being eliminated. So I don't know. It seems to me the Mavs are playing the best right now. They've got a great defense and they got Luka on fire. That's a great combination. Like you're saying, Jokic is doing everything for the Nuggets. Theoretically, they'll get some help at some point, whether it be Porter Jr. or Jamal Murray. Just having another body will help because, they played Davon Reed a whole bunch of minutes this week.
Right.
He had a good game, but who's Davon Reed? So that being said, it's like you see the Mavericks playing incredibly well. You see the Nuggets playing incredibly well. That means the Jazz are probably going to finish in the 4th seed because we're going to ignore them and they're just going to slide right in there. 4-5 series, though, between the Mavs and the Jazz.
Oh, boy.
Oh, baby. That's a spicy
boy.
one. That's so spicy.
Yes, Luka versus Rudy. That's what I love about this race the most. These 4 teams are all playing pretty high-level basketball right now. I know the Jazz just lost their last one, but 7-3 in their last 10, and then a 5-game win streak for the Dallas, 5-game win streak for Minnesota, 3-game win streak for the Nuggets right now, who are 9-1 in their last 10. So all 4 of these teams, finding their groove right now, makes it really, really exciting. Final race, compelling to me and hopefully to you. It's the play-in tournament participants. So who's in the mix? You can lock in one of the 4 teams we just discussed. So it's going to be Utah, Dallas, Denver, or Minnesota. One of those teams is going to be in the play-in tournament. It's, I think we all expect it to be Minnesota, being a little bit back of those other teams. And then you can just put the Clippers as the 8th seed. I mean, you can write that in pen because they got a bumper on both sides. They're far enough back of the Wolves in 7th, and they're up enough, I feel like, Tess, on,
Agreed.
the Lakers right now. So Clippers they're probably there. They're going to be the 8th seed, so they're going to have 2 chances to really get in. So that leaves, with the play-in participants, the Lakers, the Pelicans, the Blazers, and the Spurs. So 4 teams vying for 2 spots. Why does it matter? It matters a lot to the Lakers and Pelicans to get into the play-in, to hopefully get into the playoffs. It matters a whole lot. Probably can't say the same, Leigh, for the Blazers and Spurs. I don't think they care as much.
Definitely not the Blazers. I think
Spurs?
the Spurs are still battling. They've got some young players. They've got an all-star there if they get everyone healthy. I think they'd like to get in there. But, the Lakers are going to make it. It's just now the Pelicans can salvage what was a disastrous season by just playing beyond the regular season. Whatever we call that, I don't know. But that's what they need. And there'd be a chance to at least win a game there too against the Lakers. I think they would look at it and go, great, well why not?
Right.
The Lakers haven't been super convincing. As far as the Clippers, they've got the tiebreaker, I think, against the Lakers there too. So they're basically not going to move from there, and the Timberwolves should be safe. But it should be exciting there. The Blazers, they're like, we don't want to be anywhere near this race.
Yeah, that's what's funny here. It's the Lakers and Pelicans are like, God, we got to get in. Like, it'd be embarrassing if we don't. Well, embarrassing for the Lakers. Pelicans really want to. They made the huge deal at the deadline.
CJ.
Griff is trying to sort of save his, maybe his job. They're trying to convince Zion good things are happening here. Like, there's all that. They want in. And then the other 2 teams don't as much. Blazers, definitely not. Spurs, I'm not sure I agree with Leigh. I don't think they're, like, licking their chops at likely losing in a play-in tournament, but maybe I could be wrong.
It was funny seeing TNT Font put the little key down for David Griffin yesterday during the game, and it wasn't David Griffin. They just screwed up. It was the wrong Griff.
Bald guy?
Just a bald guy with glasses. Yeah. Anyway, The Pelicans would be great. Talking about Griffin, the Pelicans would be great if they faced the Lakers. Brendan Ingram facing his old team, I'm sure he would be jacked for that. And they could knock them off because as much as I think Anthony Davis comes back, or as much as I say Anthony Davis comes back, they're fine. We talk about all these teams in the West playing well, and the Pelicans included. You got to be playing great basketball. I mean, even though we're including 10 teams in the Western Conference, they're all playing great. Every single one. Except the Lakers. And so the Lakers is not going to be an easy road to make the actual playoffs. And you mentioned the Clippers there, and we saw Kawhi warming up. What a tease. You don't see that. The cameras do not catch that man warming up or even on the bench. He even came to the bench and shook all his teammates' hands. Very rare to see Kawhi. Is he coming back? Paul George is also at practice. I mean, at the beginning, I thought that could be a championship-type team. So, I don't know. You get some vibes there that these guys are coming back. Whether they're right vibes, I don't know.
Well, to double down on how tough it's going to be for the Lakers, they have the toughest remaining schedule in the league. So and maybe that's good for them. I don't know.
Right.
It's possibly. The Blazers have the easiest. The Blazers, have the easiest with 3 games left. Still versus the Spurs, 2 against the Thunder, 2 against the Rockets. So, I mean, if they wanted to get in there, they probably could, but they don't want to.
Yeah, they're running out of players to shut down at this point.
Yeah, and,
they're like Chauncey Billups. Take some time, buddy.
Yeah. And the Lakers split their season series versus the Spurs, and the Blazers, they lost their only game so far against the Pelicans. Just if we get into tiebreaker situations, something to note. But yeah, it's looking, Trey, that we sort of think we're going to have our teams, and it's going to be, like I said, probably the Wolves at 7th, Clippers at 8th, and then either 9th, 10th, Lakers and Pelicans. It's unlikely, it feels like, the Blazers or the Spurs are going to get into this dance.
I mean, the Blazers are getting crushed now. Ever since they shut down Nurkic, they're like, finally we cracked the code. We're losing every game by 40. We're getting that pick. The Spurs would take an appearance if they stumble into it.
Sure.
Which I guess is theoretically possible with the way the Lakers are playing. Maybe they'll try to drop all the way down to 10th. Be the first 10 seed to ever win the title. I don't think the Lakers are getting out of the play-in tournament. They're going to be in it, but I don't think they're going to win enough games to get out. They're going to blow it.
Let's hear from the stream team. Predictions when it comes to the Western Conference standings, 1 through 10. Have at it. If you call that, good on you, because there's still enough basketball to be played where one bad week or one good week, I guess, and you're jumping spots over particular teams in some of these tight races. We're going to take one more break. When we come back, JD with Tweet of the Night. We got pick'em results and a little bit more. Don't go anywhere.
Even though you are far from ordinary, the truth is that erectile dysfunction is really common. In fact, 52% of guys aged 40 to 70 experience some form of ED. ED is more common than most people think. In fact, 52% of men between the ages of 40 to 70 will experience some form of ED. Yes, I just said that twice because I know half of you weren't listening the first time. You put math in ad copy, I'm gonna frickin' use it. With Roman, you can get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for erectile dysfunction, all from the comfort and privacy of your home. Roman's system is completely confidential and totally discreet. No big logos or labels on packages. A U.S. licensed healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, it ships to you free with 2-day shipping. Again, no big logos or labels on packages. The whole process, straightforward and convenient. Getting started, real simple. Just go to getroman.com/nodunks and complete an online visit. Go to getroman.com/nodunks today, and if you're prescribed, get $15 off your first month of ED treatment. Make sure you're ready to have confidence and control this spring. Roman ready.
This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Relationships take work. A lot of us will drop anything to go help someone we care about. We'll go out of our way to treat other people well, but how often do we give ourselves the same treatment? Personally, I try to allocate at least 1 hour per day where I'm totally disconnected from the news and all of my electronic devices. Go for a walk. Sometimes I'm just outside shooting hoops by myself. Either way, I prioritize my mental well-being and I find it very beneficial. And this month, BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to take care of your most important relationship, the one you have with yourself. BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Give it a try and see why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp Online Therapy. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and No Dunks listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/nodunks. That's BETTERHELP.com/nodunks.
Back in the Classic Factory. Hey, what do you think of the Broncos' chances to win the Super Bowl this year?
What?
The Denver Broncos?
Hold on. I thought you liked sports.
Yeah, but didn't we just have the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Didn't you hear the big trade?
Oh, yeah, big Russell. Russell Wilson's gone for who's going back the other way? Who's going back the other way?
Nobody, I don't think.
Oh, nobody? Oh, right.
Nobody of note. So
Yeah.
you like them putting some coin down?
Yeah. ACR is going to Denver.
Say again?
ACR is going to Denver. Are they still married?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Happily
On the
married.
fly.
In the pocket, scrambling. Let's get to tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Twitter.
JD, I hope your tweet of the night wasn't about Russell Wilson going to the Broncos.
It wasn't actually.
good.
It isn't. I've got a couple things on the rundown here. Wedgies, we love them.
Yep.
Turns out everybody loves them. It's becoming a worldwide phenomenon because somebody sent us this. Martin Scheffler sent us this screen grab of a German game show, I guess, on
quiz
TV. Looks sort of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire-ish, sort of. And it's a question about wedgies.
How do you know that?
Defining a wedgie. Well, how do I know? Somebody sent us a translation. Coup4267 sent us a translation. So the question is, it's a multiple choice question, and then the question is, a quote wedgie in basketball is A, a behind the back pass, B, if a player jumps into the audience to save a ball, or C, the ball gets stuck between the hoop and the backboard.
Wow.
Incredible.
Amazing.
Do we know if, I don't even know who's answering, he or she or both of them got it right?
I don't know. The show looks delightful. They're having a wonderful time.
It looks casual, I'll tell you that.
Totally, yeah.
Is that a pizza taco on this guy's shirt?
Yeah. But here's another sort of tweet regarding this.
Yeah.
Somebody they made casual reference so Felix Theben sorry, I apologize for the name. I think you guys made it when a German quiz show asks what a wedgie is and casually drops a fun fact. There are about 50 in an NBA season. I wonder how they know. Well, wedgietracker.com probably, but
Yep.
I mean, it's got to be us, right? I mean, you have to think we're part of it, right?
I mean, who else tracks when Easter Ball zwischen Ring und Brett stecken Glabeben, right?
Oh, man. I wish
right.
so much this show reached out to us like they do on Jeopardy sometimes, where they're like, they have somebody, like they play a video clip, like it goes to Leigh Ellis saying, the answer is C.
Yeah.
A wedgie is when the ball gets stuck between the backboard. That would be amazing. We're all for it.
And I love the childish humor, like the smirking and the smiling when they're talking about wedges. I mean, that's what makes it even better. You know
it.
Ooh, but does a wedgie, does that translate to German? That's a good, is a wedgie like an underwear wedgie? What do they call that?
Oh,
in
interesting.
German?
Ooh, Grundle, probably. Just guessing.
You're probably right. And not only, it's not just Germany, because we were also sent a clip of a wedgie that happened in the Philippines, and they refer to it as a wedgie, and here is the clip.
Or will it get extended? It remains to be seen in the last 2:45 here.
Desiderio.
That's going to be
With a wedgie.
a wedgie.
Wow. It was a low wedgie.
International.
Underneath, yeah.
It was pretty cool to see that different ball wedged in there.
It's pretty cool to see Blackwater versus Magnolia. Who you cheered for this year?
I love those bands.
And one more thing. This is not wedgie related. This comes from our own Tass Mellis, who tweeted a video of Larry Nance enjoying a snack on the bench. Was he on the bench? He must have been on the bench, right? And Larry Nance eating a pretzel like it's a premium dark chocolate.
I retweeted. I loved it.
And his wife even chimed in and was just amazed at everybody discussing. But look at him.
See, I thought I was going to tweet this, or add to Tass's tweet, I guess, like, Do you ever, when you eat the pretzel, try and make the heart? So you try and take out the middle
interesting.
without breaking it? That's not what he was doing, but that's what I've done that before. You nibble off the little end pieces, get a nice little heart going, but then you got to take out the middle and you got to try and like bite that out without breaking the rest of it.
That's next level, man. I always go around the outside and try to make the Mercedes symbol on the inside.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, sounds like a fun little grade school trick, though. You know, like tying something with your tongue, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I've done that. I've done exactly what Larry Nance has done before. If you're in the nibbling mood.
Sure.
But just strange.
Yeah, it's nice. Maybe it was just like, I saw somebody say he was just like taking the salt off of them, but he's actually nibbling. He's nibbling.
Yeah.
I thought, and I actually, while watching that, I was thinking of Leigh inhaling a bag of Frizzle Frazzles or whatever, some Scottish snack
Mr.
that we
Snack
got.
Man over here.
It's hard to imagine Leigh like eating something like that. You know what I mean? Like just softly.
Are you still eating the snacks that came over from Europe? Are you still digging into that box?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a few. I'm making my way through the salty snacks though. There's the sweets one. The sweet ones are still left, but yeah.
Those are like ketchup flavored.
No,
right?
they're bacon. They're crispy bacon flavored, which is great because I'm not eating meat, but I'm eating crispy bacon.
That's what he said. He's like, you can't eat meat. This is like the next best thing.
Found a
I'm like,
loophole. Yeah, perfect.
So what were they called?
Frazzles, I think.
Frazzles. My apologies.
Yeah.
And this is
It's from Britain, somewhere. So yeah,
you had them before?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
They're really bacony tasting, but they're not bacon.
Naughty boy.
All right. Well, and then JD, with the Wedgie in the Philippines game.
Yes.
The Wedgie talk on a German quiz show, and then, as we showed you earlier, Jackie Moon sticking a wedgie. I mean, added together, do we almost have to count
can't.
a wedgie last year? No.
I think Jackie
I'm just
Moon gets
asking.
one. It was a legit wedgie.
It has to be during a game, during game
it was-
play. We don't allow it after a whistle in an actual game.
I know, but
How
it
can
was
we...
just for the vibes, you know, immaculate vibes.
No, okay, we're
can't do
not. We're
it.
not.
We can't.
Great stuff, JD. Awesome tweets there from you. Pick'em results last night. Pelicans Grizzlies was the game. Memphis was favorited by 5.5 points, so they had to win by 6 or more. This was brought to you by BetMGM. Shout out to BetMGM. And the Grizzlies cruised to the easy victory and cover. So that's a win for me. That's a win for Trey. Hey man, you're right back in it.
I'm back, baby.
So
like that.
I'm 3-3. Trey's 2-4. Leigh falls to 2-4 because he had the Pelicans, and Tass takes a rare L here in the month of March. Your record is now 4-2. So we're very tight here. This is a compelling race. I'll break this down on tomorrow's show. So what's tonight's game, Tass?
Well, Greg Popovich, Spurs coach, looking for the all-time lead in wins for a coach if he beats the Toronto Raptors tonight.
Oh boy.
They're at home. The line is minute. It's plus 1.5 for the Spurs, so they're getting a point. And Leigh's thinking that Pop is going to do it. The three of us think that the Raps will win. Why is Pop going to do it tonight, Leigh?
Top of the pops, it's going to be tonight in San Antonio. He's going to do it against the Raptors.
Thanks, Patrick.
But you did say a while ago that will be the headline. Top of the Pops will be the headline.
Has to be. Yeah.
So if they win tonight, we'll find out. See if the Associated
You know
Press
what's
is
going to be
listening.
interesting though after the game? You know how Pop always likes to,
Downplay everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pop, what does it mean to you? You know, most coaches means I'm old. Means I've been here a long time. That's all. Next.
Yeah.
He's going to be kind of dickish about it, I think.
Curmudgeon.
Yeah.
For sure. And then the big question is, if they pull it off tonight, is Greg Popovich the thumbnail on tomorrow's show?
Yeah.
Greg the Thumb.
I could turn somebody's thumb into Greg Popovich's face. That might get some clicks.
Yes.
All right, we'll start working on that. All right, so everybody else taking the Raps to win by 2 or more points, and Leigh swerving on this one, taking the Spurs, and history to be made today. Are you going to have your top 10 favorite Popovich wins? Or something like that?
Yeah.
Rank them all.
We gotta have some Greg Popovich content on tomorrow's show if they win tonight, with him setting the record. What else could you do? Let's brainstorm this.
Well, it's a regular season only, so that takes out any playoff stuff, doesn't it?
Yes.
Well, maybe the game that he nearly got fired in back in the day. Remember, I think it was what was it? It was against the Rockets or someone like that, and it was almost like Popovich. If he loses this game, he could get fired, and then I think they went on to go on and win the championship from there. I think it was something in Chris Herring's book about that, if I remember correctly. Now,
what about your favorite top 10 Greg Popovich moments?
Yeah,
Be some good ones.
There'd be some
when
funny
he fouled
ones.
Shaq early in the game.
Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah.
What
That's
else?
got to be the thumbnail. Greg Popovich holding up his thumbs.
Perfect. Okay, you're right. All right, great. So probably the Raptors will win tonight. They'll push this to next week because he's probably do it on the weekend. Let's call it there, though, guys. Email in your NBA questions to nodunks@theathletic.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok @NoDunksInc. Send in your questions. I already told you to do that. Why don't I tell you again? Do it on Twitter as well, @NoDunksInc, and leave them in the YouTube comments. And grab yourself an Athletic subscription. Go to theathletic.com/NoDunks. $1 a month deal on right now for new subscribers. Get your No Dunks merch over at NoDunks.com. Tess rocking the classic purple there. That pops, man, on screen, I'll tell you.
I had to strip it off Bob, my boxing buddy.
Oh, it was on him?
He was wearing it for a long time, so he stretched it out a bit. But
that's okay.
We're feeling good here.
Looks good. Go get your No Dunks merch over at NoDunks.com. And Survivor is back tonight, which means No Buffs returns tomorrow. Oh, sorry.
What?
You want me to go Clipper Bros first and then do your thing?
Yeah.
Or do your thing and then go to Clipper Bros?
Yeah, natural. Let's go natural.
Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And remember, hate to throw other TV people under the bus because we've been there, been on TV, made mistakes. But the person that they chose on TNT as David Griffin last night during the Pelicans game.
I can see it.
Oh, come on. He's got a much shinier dome than David Griffin, number one. And number two, like 10, 15 years older. I mean, he's older.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
And who's the guy on the left look like?
Yeah, he does.
He looks like a bit like Izzo, isn't it? Is
Tom Izzo?
Yeah.
No, it's more of a celebrity.
William Shatner vibes.
Yeah,
Shatner.
yes.
Bit of a Shatner.
Yeah, I
Maybe
can
I'm
see some
thinking Shatner. Shatner hanging with Griff there. Great stuff. NBA. I want to know who did that on TNT.
You want the names?
Let's talk about it. Have him on the show. Have him or her on the show. No, it wasn't Heitzy.
No. Morgan?
Yeah, I think it's somebody in the back. We got Griff, the camera person. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of people at fault.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's because it's like, I mean, well, who's at fault?
The director, isn't
Yeah, that's
How dare you?
ultimately the director's fault. 100%.
It's not the
No, it's the
graphics person.
producer's fault.
What do you mean?
Well, I guess it's the director.
Somebody is saying that's
Hey,
David.
we've got
Somebody's telling the
Griffin. We've got
cameraman or
Griffin.
woman that is David Griffin.
Well,
okay,
this
we
is
got
what
a shot.
happens. They'll say, "I got the font ready," and then the director says, "Put it up."
Yeah,
So you don't have
The
time
font's
to
not
look
the
at it.
issue. They spelled everything right. They're showing the wrong guy.
Yeah, but don't blame the director. The director's just calling the camera.
Unless
Yeah,
the director's saying,
ridiculous.
"Hey, I've got a shot of David Griffin over here, guys," and they just do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
See? Makes for good content, this discussion.
Does it? I guess so.
I think it's David Griffin's fault. Why did that guy have better seats?
He's sitting, I bet Griff is sitting 2 seats over.
Oh, no,
Did
that's
they eventually show Griff?
I don't know.
Oh.
I'll just point out that David Griffin, we missed a party at Summer League because you guys called David Griffin Dan Griffin once. Remember that?
No, you're talking. Dan Gilbert was Dave
Dan
Gilbert.
Dave Gilbert.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, yeah. A slip of the tongue, but
All Dan's are Dave's.
I got in oddly a lot of trouble for that.
you weren't the only one. We all did. And
That's insane. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe that.
Yeah, it was on live TV, and they were, well, you got to stay and fix it. And we had to actually wait for the replay and put a new font over the over the actual.
Because we
font.
called Dan Gilbert Dave Gilbert.
Dave Gilbert by accident. Yeah.
Former Australian cricketer, Dave
Yeah.
Gilbert.
Wow.
Whiffing on Griffin, slipping on Gilbert, slippered on Gilbert.
What about Dilbert?
Just call him Dill.
Breaks the day, people.